I cannot stress enough how important it is that you do your own research as well. You have to document things. You have to know what's making me feel better versus what's making me feel worse. At the exact time that you start to shift, okay, I feel a little bit better. What did I just do? What did I just eat? And it's a little annoying at first, but you start getting a rhythm. Because the reason why I say that it's very important that you do this is because this is what's going to decide what you ultimately need to focus on the most. And as you start to understand your body at this particular time, because let me tell you something, when you're going through tinnitus and ETD and you're having problems in that area, your body takes on a whole new way of life. It takes on a whole new approach. You're not really the same person you were, if that makes sense, just a little bit. You adjust a little bit here and there, here and there. You have to almost kind of take on this new reality. And that's what I had to do. And for the first couple of years, I was a little bit selfish about that. And so I want everybody that's watching this video, you do have to kind of be your own nutritionist. You have to be your own specialist, your own chiropractor, you have to be everything after you see the doctor. Once you've already got your testing, your blood testing, and all the things that you can do at home, you have to then go kick it up a notch. You got to be a little bit better at figuring out how you feel more than you probably ever did in your whole entire life. You got to do all these things and you have to kind of keep a regimen all the time. I had to do this stuff. I didn't want to do this. I didn't really want to go through all of that. I didn't want to have to document every little thing. It took me a while to realize there was a couple of things that I came up with in that conclusion through the whole entire spiel was that I realized that I need to leave caffeine alone because it's not helping me. That was one of the things I figured out. It took me a while to figure that. Not only that, it took me a while to accept that. The next thing is I realized that I can't go off of 4 hours of sleep. It's not me right now. Right now I can do that. But back then I could not do that. I couldn't just do 4 hours of sleep because it would put me in a worse state. It would put me in the worst state possible. So you almost have to kind of change a lot of things about yourself. You got to modify yourself. You got to go into character edit mode a little bit and adjust little things about yourself that you didn't have to adjust. This is just in the time frame of getting rid of this thing. So don't think that you have to become someone else. But this is how you have to be when you're dealing with tinnitus and ETD. I'm telling you, I did all of these things and I was very, very selfish at the beginning of wanting to even attempt to change anything. And I realized that it was either me, I either have to do these things or I'm going to keep dealing with the same problem. So it's like you keep dealing with the same problem or you make some changes and some adjustments. And so this is what I had to do. Get rid of caffeine. I can't be Kobe Bryant and sleep 3 hours a day. I have to get my 6 hours of sleep. That's just the way things have to be, 6 or more, maybe six to 7. And I realized I need to wake up in the morning and you should be doing this anyways, but you wake up in the morning, have a good tall glass of water, good bottle of water, whatever it is your preference, drink your water. And I realized I had to up my water game a lot more than I ever thought I had to do. We always should do that regardless, but I'm telling you, I'm giving you step-by-step process of what I had to change. I always stayed hydrated, but this time I had to be mindful. Okay, nothing into my body until I drank a bunch of water, a good amount of water. And then I also realized that as much as I don't like to take time to stretch before I go and do things, I had to take time to really stretch my whole body, my neck, my back, shoulders. I had to really make note. Okay, I did this today. I stretched that today. I stretched my neck good today. I feel pretty loose today. You have to do all these things. So basically, you have to take on a whole new approach of life as if you're an athlete, a new athlete that's just gotten maybe drafted to a new team. Whatever the case is, you have to basically build your own regimen. So I know I talk a lot about how doctors need to spend more time, do things like that. The doctor's responsibility is not to make sure we do the basics of life and do them a little bit more frequently. Take the basics of life, do it more frequently, and put more attention, do it more attentionally. You have to do it more, be more attentive about it. And so those are the things that we have to do. And it's frustrating to do those, but this is what's going to separate you healing from just continuously having this problem. So some of you out there that are 5+ years in, It's not to necessarily say you're not changing or making changes, but there's other things that could be going on. But my best and humble advice is that if you were a little reluctant to do anything like what I just said, and do it almost obsessively, then maybe now is the time for sure. It's the time to do that. And this is why this condition is so challenging, because you have to become renewed and you have to do it on your terms. You can go and see doctors and ENT professionals and nurses and health coaches or whoever, but until you make a solid position in your mind to change, you will keep either repeating, or you won't go up a tier of healing that you want. So basically you won't go towards the healing side like you want. Like you won't move the needle, or you'll stay the same, or you'll get worse. And so this is why I had to make that change. I was reluctant for a couple years. I thought that maybe if I just, you know, I guess just did the bare minimum, I could get through this whole thing. But you kind of have to be a little obsessive about yourself. And a lot of athletes are already doing this. So I don't know how many athletes out there that have this condition. Probably not very many. But if you're just like me and you're not an athlete to a point where you're doing this like as a job and you're like traveling and going to games and things like that, if you're not like that person that's constantly aware of your body and what you're eating and what you're drinking, how much you had, how much sleep, and how much you exercise, how much you train, then you're going to have to do that. And that's the best advice I can tell you, the best basic obsessive advice that I can give all of you out there. And I hope this video finds you well. And if it did, please take time to like and subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content pretty often. But in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the Jaywellness studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we are here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody.